everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you how to bake my incredible carrot cake. Now this is wonderful for any time in the fall or the winter, however it is especially wonderful for around the Easter time. So I have my ingredients ready to go except for my carrots. So I need 2.5 cups of carrots. I haven't even peeled them, it's completely unnecessary. So just get to grating. Alright, at this point I'm going to preheat my oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake this cake on a convection setting. So I've got my 2.5 cups worth of freshly grated carrot ready to go. Alright, I have 3 eggs that I'm going to break into my mixing bowl. I save my eggshells for my animals. I dry them and then I grind them up, pulverize them, and add them to their food. It's great extra source of calcium. So I'm going to beat my eggs until they are thick and lemony in color. You can always do this by hand. You just need a little bit of elbow grease. Alright, let me show them to you. They're light and fluffy and a lighter color, you can see, okay? Now, you have some options here. All kinds of options with carrot cake. Lots of different flavors go together with this. You could use coconut, any kind of nuts you like. You can use raisins. You can use any kind of liqueur you feel like. You could use hazelnut liqueur. You could use Goldschlager, whatever you want. Today I'm going to use a little bit of rum extract instead of vanilla because I love rum and raisins, and I'm going to be using raisins. Rum also lends itself well to nuts flavors as well. I'm just going to add a teaspoon of that, or you can add straight up rum. I have 1 tablespoon of heavy cream. You could use half and half or whipping cream, or even buttermilk. It's nice and thick. And I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to beat this really, really well. That rum smell is amazing. You want to beat it long enough that the sugars have dissolved into the eggs. I can see I have little ribbons going through there. Everything's nice and glossy and wonderful. Now I have almost 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. You could use vegetable or canola or even peanut oil if you want to. I'm going to add that and a little other something special. I'm going to add it slowly. Alright, we're doing well here. On top of this cake, I'm going to top it with a walnut cream cheese icing. And I'm going to use this amazing Napa Valley Walnut Infused Oil Blend. Make sure you check out my review on it. This stuff is awesome. The whole line of these finishing oils is wonderful. Now, I know I say they're a finishing oil, however, you can add it to your cooking and your baking, as long as it's not for like super long periods of time. However, today I am going to add a little bit to this carrot cake, just to get a little bit of that je ne sais quoi, that walnut flavor in here. If you want to add walnuts, feel free to do that. Not everyone really likes walnuts, but they do not mind the walnut flavor. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon's worth of this amazing walnut oil from Wine Country Kitchens. Check them out online at winecountrykitchens.com. You will be so happy you did. This stuff is awesome. And check out the other recipes we've done with this wonderful oil. Oh, it has such an essence of walnut. You can use it just like I did the extract, the rum extract. And you see I'm only adding about a teaspoon. It's just going to give that little extra kick of walnut flavor. Mix that through. You see this oil is a blend. It's an infused blend. So it has canola oil, it has olive oil, it has walnut oil, let me see, and natural walnut flavor. So the canola oil is also going to help with that little bit of a smoke point that we want to raise that smoke point so that, you know, you can still taste all that wonderful flavor. Just going to do a quick taste test of this sweetness. Oh, that is heaven! The walnut flavor is outstanding, and the rum plays off it wonderfully. Oh, this would be great for Christmas even. So I'm going to set this to the side for 1 second while I handle my dry ingredients now that all my wet ingredients are combined. Alright, so I have 2.5 cups of flour. You can use whatever kind of flour you like. I'm going to sift everything together at the same time. I have 1 2/3 2/3 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. If you wanted to make this a little bit more of a holiday cake, you could add a little bit of cloves and a little bit of ground nutmeg and a little bit of ground ginger if you really like. So let's just sift this into a bowl all together. Make sure you don't have any chunks or any, strange things you don't want in there. Oh, that cinnamon smells amazing. I love baking with cinnamon. It makes the whole house smell wonderful. Beautiful. It's also going to help make your cake more light and fluffy, light and airy with your sifted flour. Now I'm going to add my raisins, 3/4 of a cup worth, into the flour mixture. And I'm going to make sure that they're nice and coated with that flour. Just helps with the baking a little bit, in my opinion. If you had nuts, add them now as well. And we're going to add this in 2 or 3 parts to our wet mixture, as well as our carrots. And we are just going to barely combine everything. You don't want to over mix this at this point. So I'm going to do half and half, I think. Okay, barely mix through, just to make sure you don't have, chunks of, or big pockets of flour. Okay, I'm going to add the rest. Carrots have such a nice natural sweetness that they lend themselves really well to making desserts with. And again, stir that through just to combine. Just want everything even and coated. I like to lift from the bottom and kind of fold it over top. If you see little tiny bits of flour, that's okay. You just don't want a whole bunch all together. This looks wonderful. Now, if you wanted to soak those raisins beforehand, you could do so. You could do them in hot water. You could do them in apple juice or apple cider. You could even put them in some kind of alcohol. Okay, this looks wonderful. We're going to let this sit for 1 second while I grease up my bread pan. Now you could use a bundt cake pan or a bread pan. I'm going to use a bread pan today, and I'm just going to use butter to grease it generously. I don't want this all sticking, right? Now this is going to bake up very similarly to a quick bread. All right, we're going to pour it into our bread pan, and this is going to bake for roughly an hour at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. What a lovely mixture. Boy, it smells amazing. See all that good carrot in there? Good stuff. Boy, that's good. And it's been a long time since we've had carrot cake. So I'm going to show this to you. You actually want to tap it gently on the counter to just get any bubbles out. It goes 1 hour. 1 hour, or until a skewer comes out from the center clean. Okay? That is good. Now, if you're going to make a beautiful cream cheese icing, you want to take your cream cheese out of the refrigerator, and you need it to be room temperature at least. Okay? So take it out now while your carrot cake is baking, and you won't have any problem. Also, I'm going to check my cake after around 50 minutes just to make sure that everything is okay. It's not burning or anything like that, right? Check on it. It looks beautifully browned. It smells amazing. It has risen beautifully. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? All right, now you're going to take a skewer or a wooden skewer or a metal skewer, and you're just going to stick it through the center. And if it comes out clean, then your carrot cake is done, and mine is done. So I'm going to let this sit out. It's got to cool completely before I remove it from this pan. And I'm also going to prepare the cream cheese, the walnut cream cheese icing for it. All right, it's going to be awesome. So put this on a cooling rack and let it sit for a little while. Also, before I do that, I'm just going to take a knife and ever so gently run along the edges, which look wonderful. It looks like the bread has removed perfectly. So I'm just going to help it along a tiny bit. You can see those beautiful raisins in there. Gorgeous. Beautiful. So I'm going to let this sit for at least another 15-20 minutes till it cools a little bit more, and then I might try and remove it out of here. Alright, this cake has been cooling for about an hour. It is still warm, I can still feel it, but it's not hot. I can hold it. Now, it has shrunk slightly and it has moved away from the sides, as you can see a little bit here. And I sliced around the edges just to make sure that things will come out as easy as possible. Now, I'm going to try and get this cake to come out without breaking it. So let's cross our fingers and hope for the best at this point. So I'm going to just flip it. I'm going to try and stabilize it. And it just came out just like that. Beautiful. Couldn't be any more beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna flip it right side up one more time, because if you have a good looking cake like mine turned out, the top is nice and flat and looks beautiful. So we can ice that, no worries. If your cake looks terrible on the top, you're still gonna ice it, so don't worry so much. If you want to, you can always ice the bottom side and make it a lot more prettier. So we're gonna let this continue to cool on a cooling rack, okay, all the way before I even consider putting that cream cheese icing on. I do have my ingredients ready for the cream cheese icing. However, I have a 1/4 cup of melted butter that I'm letting come down to room temperature. I don't want it to be hot, but I want it to be melted and cool. I have 2 cups of icing sugar that I'm gonna have to sift. I have 4 ounces of cream cheese, which is 1/2 of a package. All right, let's get started on this icing. I have the 4 ounces of room temperature cream cheese, and I need to put that in my mixing bowl. I'm gonna cream this and whip it up a little bit. I want it nice and soft and light and fluffy. Since cream cheese is kind of thick and creamy, I'm going to add my Napa Valley walnut infused oil now. I'm adding a teaspoon of it. Maybe 1/2 teaspoon is all we need. Has tons and tons of flavor. This will be a wonderful addition for this carrot cake. So beat that up, combine it. All right, so we are going to cream the sugar, the icing sugar, with the cream cheese, but I need to sift this icing sugar to make sure it's nice and light. You can make your life easier by putting it on a plastic mat or a placemat that you can fold. It's flexible, okay? So let's sift this icing sugar, 2 cups worth. We want to make sure there's no clumps and nothing foreign in there you don't want. That way you can just dump it right back into your bowl. Easy peasy. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of at a time of the sifted icing sugar, and you're going to beat it well with that cream cheese. And keep adding until you've used it all. I'm using a medium-low speed so that everything doesn't go in my kitchen. Turn up your hand mixer as soon as you see it's combined and getting nice and creamy. You want to whip this up now. I'm going to add the cold melted butter. And a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. That was a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I want to make sure I got all that butter too, in fact. And whip this up until it's light and fluffy. Let's do a quick taste test. It's nothing like cream cheese icing. Wow. I'm going to add the other 1/2 teaspoon of the walnut flavor, the oil. Let's get that in there. Now you're going to start to see ribbons in your icing. You can see that. Very cool. And that should be ready to go. Mom, you want a beater?
Yes, sure.
Now look at that cream cheese icing. Beaters? Well, Mommy, what do you think?
Fantastic. So delicious.
Yeah?
Oh, I love that flavor.
You like the walnut in there? It's kind of good, right?
Oh, it's delicious.
A tiny bit of lemon juice perks things up a little bit too. That's divine.
The icing is almost better than the cake.
Well, you don't know, you haven't tried the cake yet.
Yeah, that's beautiful, yeah.
You like that, Mom?
Try it.
Good stuff. So it's light and it's fluffy and it's like a cloud of cream cheese deliciousness. It's like cheesecake on top of your cake. Who could be mad at that? You don't want naked cake. Anyway, this is how you do the walnut cream cheese icing. You can use it for whatever you want, whether you want to put it on cupcakes, on cake, on whatever. Dip your French fries into. Just saying, that's pretty tasty. So that's how you make it. And please check out winecountrykitchens.com online for this wonderful oil-infused blend, as well as their whole line of them. Pistachio and macadamia and the truffle are wonderful. All right, let's ice this carrot cake up. I'm just gonna leave it right here on the rack for right now. Use your cake icer, and I'm just gonna do the whole entire top. I'm gonna get all of this on here, in fact, and then I'm going to make a nice design. So let's just get all of this out. That is sexy. Look at that. This would be great for Mother's Day, for Father's Day, for a birthday, for any of the holidays, including Easter. It'd be great for tailgating, or even just a Sunday morning.
Yes, breakfast.
Breakfast, Mom says. It will be good for breakfast. So I'm just gonna spread it out with my spatula a little bit, and then I'm just gonna make some nice little peaks. Oh, it looks wonderful. If you wanted to crumble some walnuts on the top, or whatever it is you like, you can do that. Chocolate even, Mom? Yeah?
Little chocolate curls.
Nice. I'm down with that. The cream cheese icing looks wonderful. The cream cheese icing does a wonderful job flooding this cake. It's creamy, it's light and fluffy, but it's so decadent.
You could even sprinkle some poppy seeds on top.
Yes, you could sprinkle poppy seeds on top. Mom loves poppy seeds. So use your cake froster, your spatula, and just pick up the icing and make some nice peaks. And that's really all you're looking for. I'm gonna slice this. Everybody's gonna get a beautiful bite of cream cheese icing with every bite that they take from their carrot cake here. It's divine looking. It's been a long time since we made a carrot cake, huh, Mom?
Yes, it does.
So flood to the edges and be done. As this cools off a little bit, since you've been messing with it and mixing it and the whole nine, as this cools down, it's going to kind of solidify up a little bit more. Also, it has that butter, that'll help it. The cream cheese will also get a little harder when it gets cooler. And that looks perfect, and I get the spatula. So here's this incredible carrot cake with that Napa Valley walnut cream cheese icing. Look at that. Woohoo! I'm so excited. That is going to be so delicious. All right, let's cut up. I made my tea and Mom's tea, and let's cut up a couple slices and eat for dessert. All right? You want the first one, Mommy?
Oh, sure.
All right. See what I can do here. I'm using a bread knife today just to be a little bit more delicate with the cutting, just to make sure. Ooh, that looks great. Oh, you can see the little flecks of carrot. That makes me the most happy. Look at the flecks of carrot. Can you see that? Can you see it? Can you see it? All right, Mom, this one's for you.
Boy, can't wait. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Look at
It's almost too beautiful to cut into.
I know, right? The carrots look beautiful, right?
Don't they? Look at the flecks of orange.
Let me get this close up. See, now you can see in here. Look at that. With all those raisins, I don't skimp on my raisins, that's for sure. And you can see those bits of carrot. I love that. That makes me so happy. Happy, happy.
That icing with that walnut flavoring.
You
Oh
like
my
that?
gosh.
Let me see what I can do here about a piece. Take your time. It's not a race.
Heavenly.
Heavenly?
Heavenly.
Good.
I'll be getting up in the middle of the night to have a snack.
We'll be meeting each other in the kitchen in the middle of the night for a snack like this. All right, I'm gonna try mine now. Ooh, I can hardly wait. Let me try it over here for you. You gotta have some of that cream cheese icing. It's light and fluffy. It's done all the way through to the center, just like we did the test. Look at that cream cheese icing. Woohoo!
So good. I love that walnut flavor, Kim. That's awesome.
Mmm. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. So much to talk about. Mmm. We didn't overdo it with the spices. I find that lots of times when I get a carrot cake, it's way overspiced. I can't taste the carrot. I don't even taste the raisins. I just taste a whole bunch of spices. Can you agree with that, Mom?
Absolutely.
I don't like that much. So it's just spiced just enough. I only used cinnamon.
Just a delicate touch. That's all
Right.
it takes, yeah.
The cake is moist and yet light and fluffy and has like bounce back. That cream cheese icing is ridiculous. I could eat that by the spoonful out of the bowl, just by itself. It is so delightful with that walnut flavoring. Again, you can add walnuts to this if you want, but I like it just like this. Mmm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm.
I'm ready for another piece.
Already?
Oh, that's so good, Kim.
I'm glad to hear it. Because you bake a killer carrot cake yourself, Mom.
I know. This is awesome too, Kim. This is wonderful. Like I say, I love that flavoring of the walnut. It's so good.
It's nice, right? And you know what? You're pretty much full on a big slice. You got the first slice, so it's a little smaller. Maybe you do need another slice. But these are pretty, I mean, they're filling.
Yes.
Especially if you had a full dinner like we did. We had a gorgeous dinner. And then we had Lady Apple and Haskap Brandy Alexander's to begin with all the beginning. What a lovely spread this evening. Perfect for Valentine's Day for your sweetheart. Even if you made that for Valentine's Day, I think they'd be pretty impressed. Carrot cake is just a timeless classic, isn't it, Mom?
Absolutely.
The cinnamon is nice and warm and cozy and be a nice little addition to your evening, right?
Yep.
Anyhow, that's how you do it. I've had this recipe on my website for forever, and I have not had a cooking show for you, so I finally got one done for you. I've had a bunch of requests, and there you go. So that's how you bake Kimberly's incredible carrot cake, and you make a beautiful Napa Valley walnut cream cheese icing that is kick butt on that. Make sure you check out winecountrykitchens.com for this oil-infused blend, as well as their whole line of them. They've got pistachio and macadamia, which would equally have been amazing in this. You could really mix and match when it comes to carrot cake. They also have a truffle-infused oil blend, which is divine for dinner. And that's it. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E, like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. You can find my channel on Roku Cooking with Kimberly, and I'm also syndicated on Apple TV and Amazon. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe. Interact with us and let us know what's going down in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously.